All right, hello my good friends. Do I have something special for you today? Or at least I hope it turns out to be special. Now normally when I'm doing these videos, I'm talking about the stock market, but I wanted to try something different. So today I invite each and every one of you to episode number 1 of Rumer Rants. Now you might be asking yourself, what the hell is Rumer Rants? Well, that's where me, Mr. Rumer, picks a non-stock market related topic and decides to rant about it. Now yes, I'm going to be doing some bitching. Yes, I'm using this to get some things off of my chest, but I am going to try to make this educational and informative, if nothing else, entertaining. So what are we going to do for episode number 1? Well, I got a bone I need to pick, or something I want to get off the chest. And that is California. I've had enough of California, and most specifically, San Diego Gas and Electric. And let me tell you why. So let's start right here with my neighborhood, Alpine, California. Now this is a little town that's located about 30 miles east of San Diego. So if you kind of look over there, you probably can't see it. It's a little hazy today, but that's downtown San Diego and the beach. Now a reason somebody would move to a place like Alpine, California, 30 miles outside of San Diego, is probably apparent, because in the city, you are on top of everyone. Houses are like built right next to each other. You've got no yard, you've got neighbors breathing down your neck, or you're either in a townhome or a condo, which is fine for some people. But for some of us, we have toys. We have like RVs, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, and we want to make a little bit of noise, and we want to have a place to stash our stuff, and we don't want neighbors breathing down our neck. And that's the reason I moved to Alpine. I wanted a dirt bike track in my yard, and I got it. I want to make noise. I want to play my guitar late at night loud. I can do that, and that's why you move to a place like this. Now, when I first bought this place here, it was in 2002. And I had only been in California for like a year or so. So I was a little bit naive, and this is partially my fault, but I was unaware of the almighty Santa Ana winds. Now you Californians know what I'm talking about. For you that don't, Santa Ana winds are vicious. I mean vicious. They are between 35 and 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, like hurricane force wind gusts. And they have torn down trees, they have broken my windows, it has ripped off tiles from my home. I mean, it's done a lot of damage out here. And the only thing that separates it from a hurricane is that they come in gusts. They don't sustain that winds for long periods of time. Now, when I first moved out here, and my first experience was, I actually thought we were having a hurricane. You know, things were breaking outside, and it overturned some stuff in my yard. I turn on the news and there's nothing. And it turns out, oh, this is normal. We got to deal with this X amount of times a year throughout Santa Ana season. So you've had to kind of adjust to that. Now, also you can tell that this area is extremely dry. It hardly ever rains out here. This is kind of like the high desert. You can see the vegetation is very dry. And when you combine vicious winds like that with this dry terrain, it's a recipe for disaster when it comes to fire. And what you're looking at right here is one of the most flammable spots in San Diego, California. This place has caught on fire so many times, the insurance companies won't even come out here anymore and insure people. We all have to go through the state and get fire insurance because nobody wants to come out here anymore. It's that bad. And I've been through the 2002 Cedar Fire. We've had a bunch of brush fires, the 2008 Harris Fire, the Witch Creek Fire, and these were terrible. They killed people in this neighborhood. They tore down structures here. The Witch Creek Fire took 2,200 structures all across this whole entire valley. My house was engulfed in flames. I'll show you a picture of my neighbor's house. It was engulfed in flames, just to give you an idea of just, and if you've never been in a forest fire, that ain't no freaking joke. These things are powerful, they are fast, they are intense, they throw out ambers hundreds of yards ahead of time. They're like pellets coming out of the sky. I mean, it's some dangerous shit, okay? Dangerous shit. Now, I've explained that, and you're like, hey, we know fires are dangerous shit. What's your point? Okay, so I mentioned San Diego Gas and Electric. Well, when this first happened, much of this was caused by downed power lines. And they were sued by a lot of people out here, And they had to pay us money for grants to refab our houses to make them a little bit more fire retardant. And I know that kind of pissed them off, and they had some retribution they had to pay and stuff like that. So what they did is they decided that anytime there were going to be high winds that were over 50 miles an hour, that they were just going to turn off the electric. Now I'm okay with that, because I'm like, look, I don't want down power lines. I don't want people dying. It's a mess. This neighborhood looked like a war zone. It was awful. I don't want to see that. So if that's what you've got to do, fine. And I prepared for that. I bought a backup generator. And that was cool at first, because when they shut it off, the backup generator kicks on, and you still had access to all of your utilities, your TV, your phone, your cable, and all that. Well, then it kind of moved to not over 50, but just whenever there's high winds. Now, where the issue comes in with these Santa Anas is sometimes they're canyon specific. So sometimes this canyon will be blowing 60 miles an hour, and that one over there won't even know it. It'll be quiet, just like it is today. You won't hear any wind. So maybe over there it could be really windy right now. Who knows? So they decide they're going to shut it off then. Now what happens is the utilities just follow suit, because whenever they turn on their power again, it blows out their breakers, like the cable company. So then when the electric goes down, you can have your electric back, but you have no cable, no TV, no internet, no nothing. And again, that's okay. I'm willing to sacrifice that for the safety of other people. But where the problem comes in is each year it gets worse and worse. So now it went from high wind warnings, like a warning. So practically the season runs from October to February. So we're always under a warning. So anytime there's like a little breeze, they just turn the electric off. And they don't turn it back on until the warning has been lifted. So there's only been 2 wind events now. This is November. There was one last week and one a few days ago. There's only been 2 of them. Never exceeded 35 miles per hour. And they turned off the electric the first time for 34 hours, and then the last time for 3 days. So there's 2 days that's gone by. It was like peaceful and quiet, sunny and sweet like it is now, and there's no electricity. They won't turn it back on. Now there's where I kind of have the problem with this whole thing, because I feel that they are just doing that kind of crap on purpose. They're just shutting it off. And there's other reasons that we feel this way about it out here. Again, I don't want to say that, I mean, like I said, I don't want people to die. I respect fires. I get it. Shit's dangerous. You know, I don't want to see that. And if that's what you got to do, you got to do with that. But what they also did out here, because like I said with the insurance, they have charged us all a fire tax. So we have to pay this absurd fire tax. The taxes are already high. Like, it's $10,000 a year to insure that piece of shit house. Maybe I shouldn't be that cruel, but $10,000 a year just in taxes. Then you got to pay a fire tax to live out here because of its fire danger. Then when you're in these areas and they shut the electricity, you have to pay an electricity tax, an extra tax, because of this high risk area that you live in. Now, when I moved in, it wasn't a high risk area. Then it becomes a high risk area, so my taxes go up, my insurance is canceled. They have to go with the state, which is 10 times more expensive for shitty insurance. So if it burns down, they're just going to give me like 3 2x4s and a bag of concrete to rebuild it with. And then the electric company charges you an extra tax. So we just continue to pay more and more money out here. And it's like, shit, it's already expensive to live in California. It's $4.50 for freaking gas. You know, it's like 10.5% in most cities around here for sales tax. It's like, Jesus, for the privilege of living out here. So you can kind of see where I'm going from. And now you're just turning off my electric. It's like, you have more dependable electric, more dependable utilities and internet, and like, I don't know, an island in Indonesia than you do here in California. So it's kind of pissing me off, because I figure this has been going on now for 18 years. It's not the first time or the last time this place is going to catch on fire. If that's going to be the case, and this is to you, SD Genie, right to you, SD Genie, build a goddamn wire that won't fall down. Build one that won't fall over in 35-mile-an-hour rate. Can you build a stronger power tower? Can you do that? That's all I'm asking. If you're going to charge everybody money, or bury the damn thing in the ground. That's what I'm saying, guys. That's what my rant is. Again, I kind of agree on one hand. I agreed at first. I'm like, look, like I said, I don't want people to lose their homes. It sucks. Some of these people were living in trailers for 3 years. And, you know, I understand their point of view too. They've been sued and they had to pay millions and millions of dollars out here. Hell, PG&E bankrupt over shit like this. It's serious. And, you know, it's tough and it gets worse every year. But if they're going to continue to charge us so much money, they got to provide us with something else. They got to give us another alternative of some sort. Because when you're paying that kind of money to live in a place like this, and you're going to spend, because like I said, I think we get 50 days a year, at least, of high winds. So if you get 50 days a year and they're going to shut it off 2 or 3 days at a time, I'm going to be out of electricity and utilities for 70 days. 70 days. And I got to kind of camp out at the house during this time because I don't want to leave and have a fire come, you know. I got to be around to evacuate and grab my personal things. And I've made arrangements for that. Like I have a bug out bag next to the door just in case I can't get out. I mean, those are the things that we've had to do to adjust. I think freaking SDG&E needs to adjust. So anyway, guys, say hi to Alpine. All in all, she's nice. It's nice living out here. It's a good neighborhood. It's a great country. It's a great place. I'm probably bitching a little too much. Yeah, I know, but help us out. Help us out. Come up with another solution. Until the next Rumer Rants, we'll try to pick something a little easier. Take care, guys. See you.